Where I get the monoatomic matter being plasma is if you rotate it really fast, it puts this same plasma field out around it that will interact with vacuum bulbs and create the same sort of stimulation.
Whoa! A 400% return in a single week on an investment? That's what I'm talking about. Dogecoin spiked 400% in a single week. It started out as a joke. It's now a top 10 digital currency worth about $40 billion. Millionaires are being made overnight. And this is why I love Trade Genius. It's vital you find out trends like these before the general public does. What is Trade Genius? It is a network of some of the best traders in the world who make a full-time income from cryptocurrency, stock market, and other opportunities. Go to tradelikeagenius.com, get the huge discounts on their bundled items. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this edition, LeakProject. I am your host, Rex Bear, and we have Bernie, the science guy, with us, and he is a bit into alchemy, so this is going to be fun. Every time Bernie comes on the show, we go somewhere far out there, and then we kind of bring it back, and we go out there again and come back. But some of the experiments that you're doing, dude, are just wild. So what's going on?
Well, I have finally set up a working lab again here. And since the lockdowns and this new normal don't seem to be going anywhere anytime soon, and regularly I'm usually a festival vendor at the musical festivals across Western Canada, I am turning my backyard into a video production and science lab sort of area. Your backyard? Well, my poor father's backyard, but it's good. Sweet. So what are we looking at here, dude? What is this? Okay, so right now this is the basement where I'm setting up. I've set up a recording area for doing interviews and whatnot, and then some small alchemy work in the bar. I will show you right now. I think I can walk around with this one. So we have some jars and experiments of the past, as well as the making the monoatomic silver, zinc, copper, gold water. And that's a lesson that I can give a little bit on today, but supposed to help you out, be the fountain of youth. We got Tyson the turtle over here. Rex, you can still hear me, right? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Whoa, look at that backyard. And the vending tent that is about to turn into a lab. That's cool. What are we looking at? Hold on, give me 1 sec. So regularly I sell clothing out of there, but I'm going to set up doing work with LED lights, doing some videos on do-it-yourself salvaging garden solar lights, making circuits out of the little solar panels and the battery banks, and then also doing it yourself circuits of learning LED lighting. And cool. As well as also making the over unity coils and starting to experiment with sound resonance in coils. Nice. Okay. Well, you do have some really neat clothing. I've seen your clothing line. And what's your website for that? Berncron.com. www.berncron.com. Cool. Thanks. And so we've got like this set up at 2 different angles with you, or 3 different angles. And one of these angles we're looking at, well, I want to go back to this experiment here. So tell us more about this. Ladies and gentlemen, do not try this at home. This is for entertainment purposes. This is a live action role play. So the jar is on the cathode side. It is Silver, so a silver maple, and also a nano-coated copper coil. And then on the anode is straight zinc. And this is what I've deciphered to be the monoatomic metal elements in the white plasma state, what Keshe calls GANs or David Hudson calls ormus. It is a single atom metal elements in a solid particle state in their fourth state of matter being plasma. And once you rinse the water out, I do it 9 times and get all the salt out and everything, and then the plasma is at the bottom, but the top part of the water is what some call sweet water, or your structured water, or your colloidal silver, because it's essentially colloidal copper, zinc, silver, gold water of what I'm making. And I have yet to do a full do-it-yourself video out there, but I've had so many people asking that I will be doing one in the future.
So, Bernie, how do you verify like something's plasma or something's sweet water, like you said?
There's lots of other research groups out there doing it. And like the Keshe Foundation, they've had ongoing experiments for over a decade now. So you can go to their website or their YouTube site. He does weekly live streams as well and get lots of information off of there. But this water I've been drinking for over 5 years now, and I've never had any issues. So, but once again, this is for entertainment purposes only.
Now, has it, like, what have you noticed?
People say I look younger, I stay healthier. I've gotten off of prescription drugs that I was prescribed for years there. I, thank God, have been off opiates for 2.5 years. And I was prescribed them for my back. It's just a horrible thing. I don't recommend it for anyone. Dealing with pain is much better. But yeah, I was able to get off that. I've seen people in the Keshe Foundation heal themselves, regain hair. Like I said, it's essentially supposed to be the fountain of youth. And it's similar to like Dan Winters or Ken is Theory Hypothesis. He does magnetic structured water. And then also the Nunez, Daniel Nunez, and their vortex coils. They also do charged or structured water.
Have you looked at it under a microscope?
I have yet to. There are videos of it out there of people doing it, but I have a microscope that I'm just finally working on getting set up here and hope to be doing videos of it in the near future.
Cool. Yeah. I wish you well. I've got a microscope that I very rarely use also. Used it a few times, but let me ask you this then. Have you froze the water, and that way you can look at the ice, like the structure of the ice?
Oh, I have several times, and there's lots of different videos out there, and I'm planning on making some new ones specifically doing that experiment, where it shows the specific fields within the water, and it captures bubbles on specific layers. Like, it creates crazy electromagnetic fields within it, and it'll actually trap bubbles in the ice in the specific layers of it. It's quite cool to see.
Do you have anything like that we could see right now?
If I could go to another YouTube page to show this stuff, I've got permission to, if you want.
Nah, that's all right. I was wanting to see if you had anything like in your laboratory. Show us what you got in the lab, man. Because you got everything.
Sorry, I'll go grab that. I'll go grab that other.
Take it away.
First. I'll be able to move it around.
Cool. I like how we got 3 different camera views here. One outside, one of the structured water. You've got electrodes plugged into it, and then the background of art and aliens.
Disclosure's coming, brother.
Some kind of disclosure. They're going to disclose something. They're going to be like, oh, well, I know our 6 month. Yeah, we said we were going to disclose it in 6 months, and we are going to disclose that we're going to disclose it in 6 months. So we got to wait 6 more months because we're disclosing that we're going to disclose it. That's a podcast. That's the next podcast. Disclosure of disclosure of disclosure of disclosure. We're going to talk about it and then talk about it some more and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk about it and talk about it. All right, Bernie, let's talk about it. Disclosure in 6 months. Maybe. You're muted. But you know that, don't you? Frozen screen? No. No frozen screen. It's okay. Bernie, you're muted. I'm going to make this real awkward, dude. I'm going to start talking about disclosure again in 6 months.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you out there, and I was trying to get the audio to work, but
no problem, man. What are we looking at here? So what's going on?
All right. So here we have some artwork, and I'm going to be setting up more for recording and actually going through my hard drives of different experiments recording that I have from over the years. My Turtle Tyson and lab with different jars of different alchemy experiments, different circuits I've done, and also the different states of metal transmutations, the 7 colors that I decoded off of Sir Isaac Newton's work. And I highly recommend people to check out Sir Isaac Newton's alchemy writings. I think it's the University of Michigan, but it's one down in the States there that have been translating and decoding them, and that's where the main source that I got it from. And also got some orgonite pyramids and different copper coils I've made.
Now, here's what I would be interested in is like measurable results that you could repeat.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm going through, I literally have like USB chip after USB chip filled with different pictures and videos of the different electrolysis experiments I was doing over the years. And it's just a matter now of putting them together in coherent evidence producing theses and showing it and whatnot. So it's something that I'm now able to do with the lockdown and not having another season of traveling vending festivals.
Well, yeah. And somebody asked, are those Sesame Street dolls in the background? What are we looking at here, man?
Well, come on, Weekend at Bernie's here.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Well, I'm a grouch when I wake up, so a little bit of Oscar as well.
Okay. Will you look at that?
Weekend at Bernie's, right?
Man.
Yeah.
Wow. This, I mean, if I think of, this is what I would think of when I think of you, dude.
Right?
I mean, this is it. Yeah. Kind of like the song Piano Man by Billy Joel. You think of people in a bar, you know, and like that's the epitome of the music video and the song. They go together perfectly. Same with this. Now, is that like a alien mannequin?
Usually it's got clothes on. She's got at least covered in graffiti.
Interesting. I don't know what to think of that.
You're asking about plasma.
I can't focus on anything else but that right now. What are we talking about? No, I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay. You'll still be next to the plasma.
Wow. There we go. Now that, yeah, there we go. Ladies and
Oh.
gentlemen, would you just look at it? I'm having nightmares. I'm having flashbacks.
We're gonna have to do another one at night where I can actually be able to see me light up different bulbs with the plasma.
Whoa. Okay, I want to get a close-up view of that. So I'm going to stop one of your videos. I'm going to stop my video. I want to get a close-up of that. So let's here we go. Stop video, stop video. Look at that. That is
right, and it creates the electromagnetic field where this bulb is still in the box, and it's able to, transfer it wirelessly and a field. So where I get the monoatomic matter being plasma is if you rotate it really fast, it puts this same plasma field out around it that will interact with vacuum bulbs and create the same sort of stimulation.
So how do you turn this into something that powers your car or your house?
That is what I am currently working on doing. The Keshe Foundation does have different designs out there that anyone can try for themselves that do specifically that. And as my understanding has started to grow more and more, I'm now comfortable moving into those sort of experiments.
Yeah. Okay. And show us some other stuff, man. It's cool to see a plasma Heineken, though.
Right?
Yeah.
My Polish friend actually gave me that.
Nice.
He is now back in Poland. What was I going to show you over here? Yes. Can we see? So we're going to have to do another recording at another time, Rex, of the alchemy symbols, and where I redo it and do the full version of what I was doing on the whiteboard last time, and to actually decipher and explain the different principles and the advanced science that really is with them.
Now, tell us a little bit about the structured silver. And do you want to turn on your video on those other ones again? I just turned them on for a few minutes because I wanted to get a close-up of the plasma Heineken. As Kat says, it's electrifying. Hello. His name is Bernie. Weekend at Bernie's.
Meant to be. Start the weekend off at Bernie's Crazy Lab.
Bernie's Crazy Lab. I like that. Okay, that's the name. Show us some more stuff in Bernie's Crazy Lab.
All right. So
Jetpacks.
this one. Can you hear me properly still?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. Technical difficulties.
Please stand by and watch the electrifying Heineken. Plasma Technologies. Tastes great, less filling? You decide.
go. So in this one now, the second jar, it's all like a maroony red. Because it's too bright. Oh, that's good in the daytime. You can see that?
Mm-hmm.
So that is iron, copper, and zinc, all three turning into the pink crystalline state, which is the seventh state of transmutation in Sir Isaac Newton's alchemy transmutations. And right there, you have on the top, you can see it's a copper with steel, galvanized steel, which has zinc on it. And all three of the metals turn into this pink crystallized state. And it's that it doesn't matter what metal you have, they all follow this decomposition model and bonding, with the oxide being the blue, and then yellow being the sulfur, red being what isn't this, but it's another one where it could be the mercury, and into the pink, which is the transmutational state that when I had the right voltage going in, I was achieving real transmutations in the solid metal as well on the anode side. But I'm currently figuring out what labs to send some of this material to see and verify whether the yellow compound is indeed sulfur, the red is indeed mercury, and whatnot, to then be able to verify that there's actual real transmutation of elements happening in the electrolysis, that where this sulfur appears from nowhere, where the mercury appears from nowhere, and so forth. And that would be a huge first initial step in verifying the thesis of being able to reproduce and deciphering more of Isaac Newton's work and whatnot.
Right on, man. Like, because when I see this, it looks fascinating. And I can't help but think of, I used to be in the boat industry, right? And we were out there in the Puget Sound. So lots of salt water out there. And there were these zinc things put on outboards so that the salt water would attack the zinc, and the discoloration of that and the change of that. It kind of reminds me of what I'm looking at here. I'm thinking, how do we verify that these are actually transmuting and changing into different elements? And the best thing to do would have a laboratory verify, and then maybe even another laboratory. But it's
exactly. There's the AlienScientist channel. I've been doing a lot of live streams with him, and we're figuring out what lab specifically to send it to with that has a mass spectrometer and mass spectrophosis. I always get hung up on that word, but yeah, real ways of verifying it, and that I'm going to send it to several different labs all at once, just to make sure that results aren't tampered with and that we get real conclusions back, because this could really revolutionize science and rewrite history as well.
Now, the question is, will it make these elements, are you making elements that are more valuable and stronger, or are they becoming weaker and
it depends on what process you're doing and what your aim is. Another thing I'm still needing to get my hands on is a variac, and that is going to help to confirm my thesis on the anode side of transmutating once a metal is in the crystal transmutational state, of then putting in the voltage on the cathode side, for instance, using tungsten with the aim of turning it to gold, and that the atomic hydrogen being produced and the deuterium being produced in the cold fusion electrolysis process then bonds to the crystal state of the anode that's in this pink crystalline state. And then the cold fusion, if you're putting in the resonant frequency of gold on the tungsten, which is just one molecule on the periodic table below gold, put the right frequency into that tungsten that vibrates at the gold rate, that then the atomic hydrogen will fuse with the tungsten to create gold. And I do believe that I once did create that, and thus I want to reproduce it. And, well, we will have a whole new golden age.
Tell us more about that. Why do you think you created that?
It's just, it was gold. It was copper that went from being pink to something that was gold lustered and sparkling gold. I've also had copper turn to silver a few times. And the thing is that I wasn't able to put in the frequencies. This just randomly happened. So I'm theorizing that with more specific, detailed energy in, that it will be a lasting, more comprehensive process, repeatable process.
Where are the samples?
In the jars behind us here.
Show us, will you? It's kind of a big deal if you think you did that, man. I mean, hurry and show before.
Yeah, I don't want to let all my secrets out at once, though, Rex.
Come on. I mean, come on, man. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
All you will say
this could be a really big deal.
In these Tupperwares and in these, all of the boxes, we have jars upon jars upon jars of experiments of somewhere in there are what are those results in those experiments, and it's just a matter of going through, finding them, and then sending them to the correct labs to have it verified. I literally have, I think, 30 different coolers and Tupperware full of experiments.
Was that what you just showed us, though? Were those the ones?
Those are the ones.
Well, can you take one out and give us a closer look?
I don't know which one it is out of all of them. We'll have to do it on the next one.
Come on, man.
Okay, give me 1 sec. I'll look.
All right. That was in Joe's voice. Come on, man. Shut up, Beavis.
Yeah, after that we will.
Fire. Bernie. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. We're having a Beavis and Butthead moment here as Bernie the science guy gets what could be, maybe, possibly, something turned to gold. Or it could be fool's gold, or it could be swamp gas from somebody's. Anyway, let's, come on, man.
No, it's got to be next time. There's too many.
Come on, man. That's like the coolest thing ever, and you've got it hidden away. That should be the first thing you show people, dude.
Just another one of these. I think our hour's running short anyways, right?
Well, dude, I mean, if you're going to show gold and silver, man, I'm hanging out. I'm waiting. Just do it. Bring the whole thing out. Let's just look at them together. Everybody's leaving the chat.
K.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bernie's getting it right now. And it's awesome. On the spot, LeakProject. It could be the yellow water that nobody wants to drink, Kat. It could be. And Venezuelan Kitty. Wow. How's that for a name? Oh, meow. Venezuelan Kitty says that her high school chemistry teacher told her that alchemy was actually possible, but the cost was never this one word. You can turn lead into gold through chemical process, but you always use more energy and resources than the cost of the gold you would have gotten out of it. That is the old traditional model of physics. This is internet model. Hello. It's on the internet. You know it's real. Right, Bernie? Bernie knows. Okay. It's getting more awkward by the moment. I don't know what to say, folks.
Bernie knows.
Bernie knows.
Okay. I think I'm gonna have to take another mic, this mic, and hook it up to the computer outside as we go through. Or no, I can just take this one actually.
I've wondered before about the like how powerful alchemy is, if they were able to do it in the past, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, so think of it this way, Rex. Alchemy, the pictographic language of alchemy, is the oldest continuously used language through history, and it's been around since the beginning and has continued to be used to today. Did you get that?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So right there, there's got to be something to it. And the fact that why has every single continued to use it, and what does it all mean? And that is a lesson and lecture series that I'm currently putting together. But it is a vectograph, like physics language. And on our second interview, that picture of the alchemy symbol period is the prime evidence of it being the language of how the universe actually functions and how it creates and uses energy and distributes energy in formation. And it's way too advanced for me to try to explain everything right now, or I'll just sound like a crazy person. It's definitely for a talk for another day. But it's, for instance, in the metals, the moon is silver. And when I was producing monoatomic silver and I had it hooked up as the anode and the cathode running for 3 months straight, I noticed and recorded direct correlation between where the moon was in its waning and waxing cycle and the amount of monoatomic silver being produced in the reaction. And there was practically none when the moon was waning, waxing, and when the full moon, the jar was about 20% full. And when there was a super moon one time, it was 100% full. And right there, like, that's groundbreaking discovery, especially if we can reproduce it. But on the AlienScientist channel, have specifically measured electromagnetic differences and reactions in their tests in correlation to where the moon is in its cycle as well. So it's like we're slowly starting to realize and uncover evidence that the ancients were way, way more advanced than we are today,
Bernie,
and that we have to get over this ignorant thinking.
sorry to jump in, man, but your connection's breaking up. And
Is it?
yeah, and if you want to turn your other camera on, I turned it off for a minute just because.
Gotcha. Here, I'll put this one back in then.
Cool. Yeah, because it was doing pretty well there until about a minute ago. So, and then Venezuelan Kitty says, so that is an interesting idea, the influence of planets on the way particles react on our planet. That is. Absolutely.
And Ed Leeds Scallon, the Coral Castle, one of his specific things was measuring the different planets and the forces that they exerted depending where they were on their cycles. And there's a guy, YouTube channel called Vinny St. Vincent, who's replicated Ed's flywheel, as well as mixed in a bunch of Tesla coils and Tesla's work that's getting just groundbreaking results that I'm about to collaborate with. And the Daniel Nunes, they do the Rodin coils and the PoE coils. And I'm also collaborating with them in upcoming videos. So there's going to be a lot of next level research and breaking down the barriers of the old physics science realm and getting us into the space age coming out very soon.
Dude,
disclosure is happening one way or the other.
Dude, do you realize the connection that you've made with the moon and the way that, as Venezuelan Kitty says, it's an interesting idea that the influence of the planets has, it changes the way the particles react. So to these elements. So as the moon. So if you can confirm that, which I think that we could do repeatable experiments to confirm that, that verifies why the planets are so important in these alchemical texts and these texts of gnosis and magic and what people call magic. And magic is another form of science, because the time of the planets and the time, like the hour of the day, this is why it's so important, because it is truly a connection of frequency. And if you want to perform a specific task, or if you have a certain idea, if you're going to pass a certain bill, or if you're going to do something of significance, and that is probably another reason why certain bills and certain events happen at particular days that are influenced behind the scenes, because they're maximizing their results. That's the ticket, folks. That's the big ticket.
Here's the thing, even from physics, like a physics perspective, and I've always wondered why people are like, oh, astrology's nothing. It's like, no, physics. The largest forces in our physical dimension, in our solar system, are the sun, the moon, and the other planets. The gravity, the electromagnetics, and where they're positioned influences the actual biggest forces acting on each other in our physical universe, in our realm. So clearly, there's a lot more to it than what we currently understand.
That's boss, man. That's boss right there. Well, anything else you want to share with us? Did you find him?
No. I will be recording it. And how about this, Rex? How about we do this again in a couple of weeks? And I will, once I do find them, I'll unveil them on your show first, my friends.
I don't know, man. I got to check the schedule. And
whenever you're free, you let me know.
I could totally wait a few minutes if you want to go, like, pull a few of those jars out, man. Do you realize how many views this is going to get if I can put in the title, this dude might have made gold? I'm going to put
there's literally like over 1,000 jars, and
but the ones you were showing, man.
And I've got another Zoom I have to take right away, brother. Like, we're just gonna have to do this again. I'm sorry, but I will debut it on your channel. I promise.
Just because I put you on short notice and said you got 20 minutes does not mean you shouldn't have this ready right now, bro. Come on. Right on, Bernie. That's cool, brother.
Okay, much
Thank
love, my friend. And
you too, man. We'll do this soon. Also, give shout outs to your YouTube channel, your website, your store.
so Bernard Conkin, BERNARD space KONKIN on YouTube is my channel. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get to a monetized level. I'm getting close, as well as I've just created a Patreon, and I'm going to be doing a lot of work with Michelle Gibson and looking at ancient technology and rewriting history from his story to the mystery that is my story and our true histories, as well as channels like Paul Cook and Autodidactic out in Australia. And we're just looking at technology from the 1800s and where the switched over to AC as opposed to the DC technology that seems to be a lot more advanced than what we are told and has existed a lot longer. And that there's definitely been recent resets in our history, like you've been discovering, Rex, with the plasma resets. And all of the channels I just listed are associated as well with like John Levy, who you really need to work with. He's just over in Utah there. And they're all about the mud flood / Tartaria / reset plasma catastrophe event that happened probably in the 1500s and not too far back before that at the latest. And that
let me jump in on that, bro. Sorry, but aren't you skeptical about that? Because I mean, look, I respect anybody that's looking for the truth 100%. And I'm also, healthy with skepticism, not like overly skeptical, but I'm like, wait a second. So some of the stuff that I see out there, I have to really be like, is this really a 5,000-year-old building that they're claiming was built in the 1800s? I don't know, man.
Right. And there's a big, I agree with you there. And not everything, I'd say maybe 20% of their claims are probably the way it is. And then 80% is just like extremist, or theories, who knows, like in everything, right? You get your 15% truth and then your 85% speculation. But it's that the evidence is showing that there is a past, more advanced civilization that got wiped out sometime at the very least within the last 1,000 years, I would say. And that I've been going through some of Da Vinci's work, and it seems that lots of the stuff was still like half intact at that point, but they didn't really understand how to work it. And like, it's in the middle of the reset sort of thing. And who really knows what the time frames are? It's like the age old try to predict a number and you'll always be off sort of thing. But there is something to that whole theory, and there has been a reset recently. And when I joined the Masons about 10 years ago, I'm no longer a Mason, or I'm in, I only made it to the first level, and then I was moved up at that point in my life. Anyways, the point being, I read a lot of Masonic work, and there's one from the 1700s where the brother specifically describes the resets, the soul resets, and it's pretty similar to that one writing The Law of One, I think it was, or something that came out. But it specifically describes there being many resets in human civilization and the ignorance of society, and that if they think they're going to survive the reset with the current thinking, that they were going to be lost. And that reading that has always stuck with me. And the evidence all around the world shows that there's been at least 5 past civilizations. And Michelle Gibson believes, and I highly support her theory, that she says instead of Tartaria, she calls it Moor, and it's in refer to Lemuria being the first or the last advanced civilization. And I could believe that. And regardless, I highly support and respect your work looking into these plasma events, and that something has happened.
Big time. Big time. And I just found a cache of petroglyphs out there in the Tucson area that some of these petroglyphs look like molecules, graph patterns, possibly math equations. So fascinating. And these places look like they were intentionally destroyed. So you're just seeing fragments. And then I found another place out there in southern Arizona that's got over 10,000 petros. So that's going to be a really cool discovery. And you know what?
Immediately before they do get ruined. And
let me jump in there.
Like, the alchemy symbols as well I'm deciphering, it's like they're identical to the hydrogen wave functions and like the plasma wave function. Like it's so insane how much more advanced we could have been and things are, as well as how much simpler it all is as well when you tie it all together, sort of.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. I just had an epiphany because when I was out there in Tucson, I was meeting with Jerry and Kathy Wills from Expeditions. They've got a really cool Patreon group where people will meet up with them.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they're freaking awesome. I love them. And
I can't believe.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. They introduced me to Myra and John Nichols, and they wrote this book right here, which is called Kalalis Revisited, or something along that line. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but I looked on the back here, and this is supposed to be like a pre-Christ cross that was discovered in Arizona. And there's several of these, and it looks like, or this right here, it looks like one of the petroglyphs that I saw out there in Tucson, and they have evidence, a lot of evidence of the Roman Empire actually being out there 2,000 plus years ago in Arizona. And to add to that, like you said, the alchemy symbols, one of the symbols that I saw, which reminds me of this, also, this looks kind of like the Venus sigil of Venus and the alchemy. Wow, dude, we got it. Yeah, let's do a follow-up on this for sure. And on that note, give us a quick goodbye, brother.
Much love.
But you could finish what you're going to say. I just had to get that out there. Did you want to finish anything?
Oh, I was going to say the synchronicity that you are now working with Jerry and Wills and his wife. Like, I was going to recommend their work to you before you brought them up. And the fact, like, I watched their videos like 10 years ago, and the stuff they were discovering in South America, the videos they have, it was before Brian Forster was doing it, but Brian Forster is also now showing lots of the similar stuff. But where Jerry goes into some of those underground tunnels that supposedly go across the whole continent, it's pretty intense video. I highly recommend people to check out their Patreon and their stuff, because it's mind-blowing, and it's truly evidence of a far vast ancient culture, society, and them having technology. And another good evidence is the Golden Hall of Records, Father Crespi's collection. If you've ever heard of that, in Ecuador, highly recommend you check that out and do a video on all the gold tablets of Father Crespi. And also please subscribe and share my work, as I'm trying to do more and more. And lastly, Rex, you have to send me a copy of this one when you put it up, as well as if you still have our originals, please, because I would love to mirror them on my channel.
Totally. 100%. Hello. His name is Bernie, the science guy. Right on, brother. Had a great time talking with you, man. Thank you. And we'll do it again soon. I don't know if it'll be 2 weeks, but we'll definitely do it again within the next few weeks.
Month, 2 months, whenever you have time, brother. Much love and respect.
Right on, man. You too. And folks, thanks for joining us here on the website. Thank you for being here on the website. Thank you for watching the live shows. Thank you for interacting with us. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being excellent to each other. And thank you for being the change you want to see.
222 is when it ends. Much love, brother.